instant news source, ABC6 News at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. We start with some breaking news from Smith Hill. Sources telling ABC6 News that Governor Dan McKee is planning to announce that he will run for election in the coming days. McKee took over for Gina Raimondo after she departed to become President Joe Biden's Commerce Secretary last year. He took office in the middle of Rhode Island's vaccination push as new groups were still becoming eligible and demand outpaced supply in March. The governor is expected to tout the success of that vaccination effort as part of his pitch to voters. And now to an ABC6 update. The suspect accused of drunk driving and crashing into two teens in Exeter appeared in court this morning. 30-year-old Alexander Krajewski faces several charges following Saturday's crash, and today he is out on bail. ABC6 News reporter Laura Puglisi is live for us at Washington County Courthouse with the latest. Laura?
Well, Doreen, we know that he was released on bail for $10,000 with personal recognizance. We also know that as long as he hearings and undergoes an alcohol assessment, he was able to head home today. He faces 4 counts of felony charges, including 2 counts of driving to endanger, resulting in personal injury, and 2 counts of driving under the influence. That crash happened Saturday evening around 9 p.m. at the intersection of 10 Rod Road and Arcadia Road. Rhode Island State Police say Krajewski was under the influence behind the wheel and crashed into another car holding 2 teenagers. Krajewski was not injured, but both teens were taken to the hospital, where one remains critically injured. Now, his attorney did not want to comment about the case, but he did say this.
He's concerned, obviously, and he's still trying to figure out things and what happened, and but beyond that, no, I'm not going to comment on the facts. I'm not going to comment on what the reports may say. I don't have them, and I will not get them for some time. And when I do, even then I probably won't have a comment.
Another note, Krajewski is employed with the Newport Fire Department. In the courtroom, his attorney used that and the fact that he has no prior record to request bail. The state ignition interlock, which basically prevents drivers from starting their car after they've been drinking.
All right, well, he will be next in court on May 18th. Laura Puglisi in Wakefield this afternoon. Thank you. Now to news new at noon. The Middleborough Fire Department is calling the scene of a morning house fire an active crime scene. Firefighters were called to Wareham Street this morning and put that fire out about 8:30. The Carver Fire Department was called in to help. Fire officials tell ABC6 they can't release any other information right now because of a criminal investigation. 2 Foxborough High School students were in court yesterday facing charges for assaulting a North Attleboro student last week. The Sun Chronicle reports that 18-year-old Alan Hart and a younger suspect who was not named were both arraigned. A transgender student from North Attleboro was allegedly taunted and assaulted after a boys' basketball game against Foxborough. The student was not seriously hurt. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker signed Nero's Law yesterday, named after a canine who served a local fallen officer. The bill allows police dogs injured in the line of duty to be taken to the hospital in the ambulance or treated by EMTs on scene. Nero was Sergeant Sean Gannon's canine and was injured in a 2018 incident in Barnstable that saw Sergeant Gannon shot and killed. Gannon was a New Bedford native. State Senator Mark Montagne of New Bedford sponsored the bill.
There's never closure, but what I have found when families have tragedy and they're able to apply their talents and energy and passion to recognize a loved one, it helps a little bit. And I don't think the Gannons will go away. I spoke with Mrs. Gannon immediately when the governor's office called yesterday, and she has been relentless in memory of Sean, but also respect for every one of these heroic animals who actually save lives.
And we can report that Nero is living with Sergeant Gannon's widow, Dara, and they are surely celebrating this news. A similar bill is being proposed in Rhode Island. We'll have more on that effort tomorrow on ABC6 News at noon. We turn now to our coverage of the coronavirus, and students at Providence College can take their masks off in class. This is the first college in Rhode Island that we know of taking this step. PC President Father Kenneth Sicard says the new mask optional policy starts at 5 tonight. One significant exception, instructors can require masks if they want to, and the masks are still required in medical areas. Students will continue to have access to free testing services. And it has been a busy week of meetings on schools and masks, and that continues tonight. Masks are on the agenda for school committees in Attleboro, Westerly, and North Providence. So far, only Providence and Fall River Public Schools are extending mask mandates. All other cities and towns to meet so far will follow the governor's guidance. That means lifting mandates February 28th in Mass and March 4th in Rhode Island. And as the masking debate continues, Harvard School of Public Health says it's too soon to unmask kids in schools. The study used vaccination rates for students and teachers, along with case transmission in a particular area, to determine when it's safest to stop masking. Using a 70% teacher and 25% student vaccination rate, the study suggested removing masks when cases fall below 14 per 100,000 a day. And only Maryland meets that criteria right now. Steamship Authority employees suing over a vaccine mandate now head to federal court. The Martha's Vineyard Times reports that 11 employees sued after the SSA mandated vaccination, outlining progressive penalties that would eventually lead to termination. The employees are asking for religious exemptions and are willing to take tests or wear masks as an alternative to vaccination. Today is the deadline for employees to be fully vaccinated. Excuse me, now to an ABC6 follow-up. Newport Creamery is part of an expanding nationwide recall on some ice cream. The ice cream is made by Royal, and the FDA says it may be contaminated with listeria. It's manufactured in Connecticut. Newport Creamery's Crazy Vanilla, Vanilla and Chalk, and Vanilla and Coffee half-gallon are impacted. The container would have a CT-121 stamped on it. The FDA says nobody's gotten sick yet. We did reach out to Newport Creamery for comment. We are waiting to hear back. And now to the weather as we take a live look outside right now with our sky cam. We have really warmed up since this morning. Chelsea is standing by with much more in our first forecast. Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, Doreen. Yeah, not just even from this morning, from the past couple of days, we've had high temperatures both Monday and Tuesday, only in the 20s. Today, we're now in the mid to upper 30s. There is a bit of a breeze. It's coming in out of the south, about 22 miles per hour, making us feel a few degrees cooler. And there's some passing clouds outside today, but all of us are significantly warmer compared to yesterday at this time, running in the mid to upper 30s at the moment. Factor in the change from yesterday, and we are running anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees warmer right now compared to yesterday afternoon. Your satellite radar image shows you a few passing clouds, and that'll be the case. We don't have that perfect blue sky today. You end up with partly cloudy conditions as we head through the later part of the afternoon and into the evening hours, but overnight with some clouds and that breeze continuing from the south, the temperatures don't drop all that much. We end up in the low 40s this afternoon and into the evening hours, and we'll stick around 40 degrees into tomorrow morning. We'll be even warmer tomorrow afternoon, but eventually some gusty winds and rain move into the area. I'll have much more in just a few minutes. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. Still to come here on ABC6 News at noon, debating driver's licenses for the undocumented. The vote that could happen today at the Massachusetts State House. And a big money settlement for families of victims of the Sandy Hook school shooting. How much a gun company will pay. ABC6 News at noon, back with political news now, and there is now one less candidate for Massachusetts governor. Danielle Allen is dropping out of the Democratic primary. Allen only had a 3% of a recent MassInc poll compared to 48% for Maura Healey and 12% for Sonia Chang Diaz. In a message to supporters, Allen said she hopes she brought some fresh perspective to the race. Allen is a political theorist and professor at Harvard. On the Republican side of the governor's race, Jeff Deal officially pulled papers to get on the ballot Tuesday. Deal is the only Republican to do that so far, with Governor Charlie Baker opting not to run for a third term. Deal will now work on the required 10,000 signatures to appear on the ballot. He was former President Donald Trump's campaign co-chair in Massachusetts in 2020. And on Beacon Hill today, lawmakers are expected to debate a bill that would allow undocumented immigrants to get driver's licenses. The Boston Globe reports that House Speaker Ron Marino is working to get a veto-proof vote margin because Governor Baker does not support it. Registrars would only ask for identity, date of birth, and proof of residency, not a social security number, and not about a person's immigration status. And checking some national headlines now, sources tell ABC News that Russia could invade Ukraine as soon as today. The White House says a Russian attack remains a distinct possibility, adding that if it does happen, Americans here at home will feel the impact in the cost of gas. Russian officials insist the Kremlin has no intentions of invading Ukraine. And an update today on a historic settlement in the 2012 massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School. Remington Arms, the maker of an AR-15 style rifle that was used in the shooting, agreeing to a $73 million settlement with 9 families. ABC's Rena Roy has more.
For the first time in U.S. history, a gun manufacturer paying millions in connection with a mass shooting. Remington Arms reaching a $73 million settlement with the families of 9 victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting.
Today is a day of accountability for an industry that has thus far enjoyed operating with immunity and impunity.
The families filed a wrongful death lawsuit over 7 years ago against the company, which makes the Bushmaster semi-automatic rifle, the gun used by 20-year-old Adam Lanza back in 2012 when he forced his way into the Connecticut school, fatally shooting 20 first graders and 6 staff members in just 264 seconds. The lawsuit accusing the company of unethically advertising a weapon meant for war to young men, including product placement in video games and ads like this one reading, "Consider your man card reissued."
8 long years, we've continued our fight to hold Remington accountable for its role in prioritizing profit above safety and using reckless marketing techniques to appeal to at-risk and violence-prone young men.
Remington had previously denied responsibility and has not released a new statement since the settlement. The company filed for bankruptcy protection in 2020, insurance companies paying out the settlement. While this is a step in the right direction, more than 9 years later, these families say nothing will take the pain away.
True justice would be our 15-year-old healthy and standing next to us right now. But Benny will never be 15.
This settlement also allows the families to release internal Remington documents, which they say show they marketed their guns to young men. Experts say this could set a precedent for others who are looking to take legal action against gun manufacturers. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And coming up on ABC6 News at noon, Chelsea has a look at your full 7-day forecast.
ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
Well, some sunshine outside this afternoon, mixing in with some cloud coverage at time. Not quite the perfect blue sky that we've seen the past couple of days. That being said, with some clouds and with a change of wind direction, we are much warmer outside today. Temperatures are currently sitting in the mid to upper 30s range. Average high for this time of year is about 41 degrees. So we are close to that outside right now. And we're going to continue to see these temperatures climbing in the coming days. What you're looking at is a 15-degree jump on average across most of the area this afternoon. And that will continue to be the case, especially overnight into tomorrow morning. We're going to wake up tomorrow morning in the 40s with the clouds and with the breeze from the south. That's going to be so far above some of the single digits that we experienced very early this morning. The breeze is coming in from the south, and it is a bit breezy, 10 to 20 mile per hour winds, and some gusts coming in over 25 miles per hour at times. But that wind direction gets us into the low 40s this afternoon. This is all ahead of an approaching cold front. You're looking at temperatures for Thursday and Friday in the mid to upper 50s. We're going to get a lot of melting in the coming days, and with overnight lows staying warmer, we don't have to worry about too many icy spots for the next few nights. Now, this is going to come with some rain. That likely moves in very late Thursday and into the start of the day on Friday. We should clear out pretty quickly, but as we start to clear out, the temperature on Friday starts to drop pretty quickly. That 57 likely happens in the morning hours, and then from there by the afternoon, we're down to the 40s. For Saturday and Sunday, we hover around 40 degrees, but good news is we're back into the low 50s into the start of next week. Satellite radar image right now shows you some of those passing clouds that have been coming in and out of the area for the late part of the morning and into the afternoon. We'll continue to see kind of a blend of sun and clouds. Overall, things are dry, though. It's just breezy outside as we wait on the approaching cold front to come through the area as we head into, again, sometime late tomorrow. What you're looking at today is partly sunny conditions for the afternoon, temperatures topping out in the low 40s. Overnight, partly clear. Temperatures stay around 40 degrees overnight because of the clouds keeping us a little bit warmer because of the wind direction still coming in from the south. Now, most of tomorrow looks dry. You're definitely going to notice that breeze picking up as the day goes on, but we don't get rain moving in until very late at night. So the temperatures tomorrow in the mid to upper 50s, besides the wind, a decent day out there. Overnight, the rain starts to move in. The wind really starts to pick up. We're talking about wind gusts potentially 45 to 55 miles per hour for most of us. And that's enough that there may be some power outages or some branches down. We'll have to watch for that. This is stopped at about 3 a.m. You can see some heavy downpours moving through, and this is when we're going to be experiencing some of our gustiest of winds. Now, that rain clears out pretty quickly, and you can see that cold front by Friday evening is way offshore. Temperatures are significantly cooler into Friday later in the day. The wind direction shifts and cooler air starts to move in. Talking more about the wind, there right now is a high wind watch that's been issued for the area starting at 11 p.m. tomorrow night into Friday morning. So this wind is for tomorrow night and into Friday. Today's breezy out there, but we're not talking about those very high gusts until tomorrow evening and overnight. Mid-40s today, a partly sunny day, certainly much warmer than where we've been the last few days. We're partly cloudy and warmer overnight. Temperatures in the low 40s range. And tomorrow, temperatures make it well into the 50s. That likely happens late in the afternoon and into the evening hours. We'll stay in the 50s overnight and into the 50s on early Friday morning. But again, that comes with very heavy rain and very gusty winds. We'll clear out pretty quickly on Friday, but temperatures start to drop around 40 for the weekend, back into the 50s for next week. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. Still ahead, the latest from Beijing and the doping scandal casting a cloud over these Olympic Games. Back now with the latest on the Olympics. A doping scandal and disappointment for Team USA men's hockey. ABC's Alex Prochet is in Beijing.
Team USA with 2 spots on the podium in the men's free ski slopestyle. Alex Hall soared to Olympic gold, teammate Nick Gepper winning the silver. Americans have won 6 Olympic medals in the event since its debut in 2014, and Gepper has 3 of them. And a heartbreaking loss for the men's hockey team, now out of the Olympics after losing to Slovakia 3-2. Slovakia scored the tying goal with less than a minute left in regulation and then won the game in a shootout. On the women's side, Team USA will face Canada in the gold medal game. U.S. bobsledder Alana Myers-Taylor may be thinking about retirement, hinting that the women's race, which starts Friday, may be her final time in a sled. Michaela Schifrin had the fastest time in a downhill training session ahead of her upcoming Alpine combined race. The 26-year-old is still seeking her first medal at these games. The 2-time Olympic gold medalist failed to finish in the giant slalom and the slalom. Russian Olympic Committee figure skater Kamila Valieva in first place after the ladies' short program. The 15-year-old allowed to compete as the investigation into her positive drug test intensifies. In addition to the banned heart medication trimetazidine, according to documents reviewed by the New York Times, 2 non-banned substances, hypoxin and L-carnitine, were also found in the December sample under review.
It's a very, very powerful drug cocktail of endurance, and again, being able to come back quickly, recover quickly.
The IOC saying if Valieva finishes in the top 3 after the long program, not only will there be no medal ceremony, but she'll finish with an asterisk next to her name until the investigation concludes. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Beijing.
Coming up, a record-breaking, flawless, vivid blue diamond going up for sale. How much could this big gem go for? We'll have those details after the break. And Chelsea has another look at your afternoon forecast when we come back. Well, the biggest vivid blue diamond is up for grabs, and it's going for a pretty penny. It's called the De Beers Cullinan Blue, and Sotheby's says it could sell at auction for at least, get this, $48 million. It is the largest internally flawless vivid blue diamond that the Gemological Institute of America has ever appraised. The big blue rock is expected to be auctioned off at a Hong Kong luxury week this April. It is stunning, Chelsea.
At least 48
At least, yes.
I think we're going to need to do a follow-up on that in April to see
Sure.
what it
Well, I'll
actually
just
goes for. Oh, right. Totally. I'm sure that's what you're getting for your birthday.
Obviously.
We are looking at dry conditions today. We're warmer today into the 40s. We're going to stay in the 40s overnight. It's a bit breezy today. Breeze continues to pick up tomorrow. We make it well into the 50s later tomorrow. That comes with gusty winds and heavy rain, especially overnight into early Friday. As we start to clear out on Friday, temperatures start to drop and we're cooler into the weekend. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. And thank you for joining us for the news at noon. The news continues first at 4. Have a great day, everybody.